We love movies. Whether they're good or bad, they showcase a collection of many people's work to produce an art.
Right. In addition to film, there are other awesome art mediums to appreciate.
One of our favorites is video games.
Hey Dice, movies are super rad, and video games are also way cool. What would happen if someone could merge these two things together? We've seen very few cases of successful instances, but that's a conversation for another day.
Video game-based movies are finally getting a modern resurgence with high budgets and high hopes to cleanse their bad reputation.
Finally! Before we start seeing new high-budget video game movies in the future, let's take a moment to remember some of the worst video game movies that Hollywood pushed out.
This is our list of the top 10 worst video game to movie adaptations.
Our picks are for movies that we are personally familiar with. We're aware that there are more steaming dung nuggets in existence. That's why we want to see your picks in the comments below. Number 10. Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. While this isn't a horrible movie by any stretch, it falls short in one crucial aspect. Why does it say Final Fantasy in the title?
Where are the oversized swords? The overly complex costumes.
I do want to talk about it. Did it ever occur to you that maybe we would have volunteered to risk our lives?
The spiky hair.
Can you give me...
This movie gets more hate than a road raging truck driver stuck in traffic after eating gas station taquitos. This was probably because it was a generic humans versus aliens last fight for humanity sci-fi flick. That being said, it still shines in the visual department. I mean, come on, this was 2001. The CGI still looks good today.
Hey Peacemaker, remember when there was only one black guy in the whole movie and he dies?
Talk to me, Sarge.
Ouch.
Rest in peace, black guy. You were my hero. And the black guy's still alive.
He's not! Number 9, Resident Evil. It fails in ways similar to Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, that the title alone makes you expect something from that game. Why is it so different, you ask? Well, it throws out the idea of survival completely in exchange for an over-the-top action movie, despite it being based on a slow-paced survival horror game.
Oh, Barry!
The movie isn't even creepy, and it focuses way too much on the corrupt Umbrella Corporation rather than the zombies infesting Raccoon City. That being said, it's still a decent zombie action movie with some good cinematography. Not to mention its well-casted strong protagonist Mila Jovovich. She's basically the glue holding the series together. Overall, okay movies, horrible video game adaptation.
You were almost a jibble sandwich.
Number 8. Tomb Raider. You know, in the 90s, Lara Croft was a huge icon in gaming, let alone 90s culture itself. So when the Tomb Raider movie was released in 2001, all the fanboys wept in excitement to see Lara's edges smoothed out in a live-action adaptation of the gaming franchise. So, why is this movie on our list? Simple. It wasn't good. A babe in a skin-tight outfit can't save a poorly constructed and weak story.
Then I would have to force you.
Then I would have to kill you.
Seriously though, I've seen this movie before, but I barely remember it. It's that unmemorable.
Welcome, punch!
Number 7. Doom. Speaking of the 90s, another iconic and infamous video game has to be Doom.
Doom 2 is just such a bigger, badder, better version of Doom.
Doom graced the world with its unique first-person perspective, excessive violence for the time, and excellent facial expressions from Doom Guy. There's nothing better than mowing through a world filled to the brim with demons and other hellish creatures with an arsenal more expansive than a Schwarzenegger flick.
What? There's a Doom movie and it has The Rock in it? It must be awesome.
Sorry, Dice, but this one's rightfully earned a spot on the list. The reason this movie was so bland is because it fails in aspects where the game was so iconic and lovable. The movie had so much dialogue with very little payoff, not to mention the slow pacing.
Chromosome 24.
Oh my god.
come on! It's based on one of the most action-packed games of the 90s. Well, it did have a super cool scene paying direct homage to the game on which it's based. That 43 seconds is the only reason people remember this movie.
Number 6. Mortal Kombat. You know, naturally, when there's a wildly popular franchise, dudes in suits jump all over the idea of throwing money at it to extend the brand in various ways. This is called a financial investment, aka a cash grab. But what about the story and the...
Joey, shut up! This is Hollywood. This is the big bucks, baby. Our market, they don't care about story. This is based off a video game. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, okay, that sounds okay. And where do I start with this movie? Pathetic effects, oversaturated characters, non-appealing story, horrible acting, and bad fighting choreography!
Finish him!
Number 5. Max Payne.
Oh, what? There's a Max Payne movie starring my boy Mark Wahlberg? That's one of my favorite video game series!
Well, calm down there, Peacemaker. You're about to be more disappointed as a grown man not being allowed to participate in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card tournament.
The video game franchise has been so amazing and successful because of the dark, violent story, the poetic monologue narrative, the character depth, and the overall seriousness and themes of the plot. That shouldn't be too hard to adapt into a movie, right? Right? Like we've seen earlier, casting cannot save a bad movie. The film noir style was nearly removed from the movie adaptation altogether. The script was shameful, and the action was bland and forgettable. It's almost as if these creators had no idea what Max Payne was before starting this movie. Where's my painkillers? Number 4. Street Fighter. You know, naturally, when there's a wildly popular franchise, dudes in suits jump at the idea of throwing money at it to extend the brand in various ways. This is called a financial investment, aka a cash grab.
But what about the story and the...
Joey, shut up!
Where do I start? Pathetic effects, oversaturated characters, non-appealing story, horrible acting, and bad fighting choreography? Wait, this sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, but it's worse. Number 3, Tekken. This game, man, it revolutionized and pretty much birthed 3D fighting games. Let's be honest, those CG character cutscenes were pretty cool. Its movie counterpart, however, can't keep the viewer interested due to its one-dimensional acting, the oversimplified plot, and the poorly adapted characters. Come on, guys! You have one of the most dynamic character rosters in all of fighting game history, and this is what you come up with? And the sequel did even worse! They still didn't learn? I don't have time for this. I don't have time. I can't do this anymore. Nope.
Number 2, The House of the Dead. Oh man, The House of the Dead. It brings me back to my 90s bowl cut having days. I remember seeing this arcade cabinet at every pizza place, arcade, and bowling alley. Naturally, the grotesque violent nature and light gun shooting action grabbed my attention. Before long, I became brave enough to step up and shoot some zombies. It was awesome!
Yo, Peacemaker, did you know that there was a movie adaptation released in 2003?
Yeah, about that. To give you an idea of how idiotic the story is, the movie takes place on a rave island. The character expositions and horrible acting actually mirror the voice acting of the game quite nicely.
Don't underestimate the enemies.
That's not a good thing. These characters are basically the dumbest horror movie character tropes in existence. So where's Kyrian Mansion? Where are the AMS agents?
Oh, don't worry. They'll be there at the very end of the movie.
Similar to Doom, there's a scene paying homage to the game on which it's based. But this one's not even cool. I want my 86 minutes of life back. And number 1. No other than...
That music! Can it be? Oh snap. I just threw up a little.
Seriously? Arguably the most iconic and recognizable video game of all time got a movie, and this was the outcome?
What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? What?
The history behind this Frankenstein creation is a case study in and of itself. Nintendo essentially let this piece of donkey cake fly as a tax write-off. Oh, let's see. The directors didn't even play video games. Bob Hoskins didn't even know Mario, the character he was playing, was a video game character, and the actors would actually act while drunk on scotch, leading to poor performances and multiple injuries on set. This made the Super Mario Bros. Super Show look like a masterpiece. There are too many reasons to list why this movie was so heinous. Besides the actual production history, the movie tried desperately to be hip and edgy. Okay, who thought that a dark atmosphere with political overtones would fit this? This was definitely the worst video game adapted movie, with good reason. It was offensive, diabolical, and criminal to take advantage of people's curiosity to sell them this piece of filth.
I guess this one's a game over. So, we've pretty much covered all of the worst video game-based movies that we're familiar with. There were others, so here is our honorable mentions list. It's crap. It's not good. Oh my gosh. That's a movie? And that's our honorable mentions.
You know, I think we were able to spot some common denominators with these movies.
Time and time again, we saw examples ranging from underfunding, Hollywood cash grabs, and movie creators not even doing their research on why the game was so successful in the first place. Let's hope they learn from these past mistakes. The future could hold some possibilities for some excellent video game-based movies.
When I was a little peacemaker, I was absolutely obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. I had the books, comics, toys, VHS tapes, and video games. I even had Sonic bed sheets.
And it's kind of like this quite chilled kind of music. Well, I can't remember. It's one piece of music, and then suddenly the music very abruptly changes into something quite different, but it's still a skiing montage. Yeah, and it was just a bit weird. Like, it was one of...
Oh, what? There's a Max Payne movie, so...
Are you still...
This fell down my leg.
Oh, okay.
It scared me.
I thought you were still laughing at that thing. I was like...
That orange thing, like, jumped out at me.